begin?
Oh, we're good?
Yeah.
Let's ask the, I'm sorry, we're going to ask the county clerk, Michelle Cochran, to call county meeting to order.
Thank you, Chairman. It is 9:07 on Friday, September 19, 2025, and a quorum of the County Commissioners Court is present at the El Paso Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Calvo, can you please proceed with the roll call?
Sure thing. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, beginning with Chair Cesar Blanco, Vice Chair Javier Perea, County Commissioner Jackie Butler, Mayor Rudy Cruz, Representative Chris Canales, Mayor Ramon Cano, Mayor Miguel Chacon, Representative Alejandra Chavez, Senator Joseph Cervantes, Aaron Chavarria,
Here.
Anthony DeKaiser,
Here.
Representative Art Fierro, Commissioner Gloria Gameros, Representative Mary Gonzalez, Yvette Hernandez, Commissioner Ileana Holguin, Mayor Renard Johnson, Mayor Martin Lerma, City Manager Dion Mack, Representative Joe Moody, Representative Eddie Morales, Mayor Diana Murillo, Tony Nevares, Representative Claudia Ordaz, Representative Vince Perez,
Here.
Mayor Rachel Quintana,
Here.
Mayor Andres Renteria,
Here.
Judge Ricardo Samaniego,
Yes, here.
Representative Sarah Silva, and Tomas Trevino. All right, so we do have quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Calvo. I'd like to ask the county clerk, Cochran, to do the roll call for the meeting or any announcements.
Present are County Judge Ricardo Samaniego, Commissioner Ileana Holguin, and Commissioner Jackie Butler.
Thank you very much. Let the record show that Representative Canales and Tomas Trevino are present.
All right.
Do we have public comment?
Yes, for general public comments, Alex McRae, he's online.
Okay.
All right. His name again, Marisol?
Alex McRae?
Alex what?
McRae.
Okay. Alex, you're on for public comment. And please turn on your camera and the microphone, please. Alex McRae. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Right.
And remember, you've got 3 minutes.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. So I kind of wanted to bring more attention to how we bridge the gap between transportation between our municipalities and unincorporated areas in the region. I think starting off is optimizing our current largest cities metro system. So that's on Metro. By minimizing headways, transfers, and creating a more consolidated transportation route to key locations within the city. If I could please get your attention to the third slide of my presentation. There's a couple maps and depictions of this type of pedestrian and transit routes. And one in particular is an 8-mile stretch going from the international airport through the medical developments over by Paisano and Alameda, through the border international crossing, County Coliseum, downtown, and UTEP. I think that this 8-mile stretch of corridor would be a good first iteration of a prioritized public transportation and pedestrian corridor. It would bring a lot of benefits, including affordable housing with efficient utility infrastructure, improving healthcare access, economic mobility, improving our nightlife public safety, and improving, tourism and attraction. I think this is something that would be very beneficial for our community, for the region at large, as we slowly incorporate more of these multimodal infrastructure into our mobility portfolio. Um, I would also say that, highway expansions, I think, are probably not the best form of economic development for the inner city anymore. And I think, going to the state and within the legislature in the state of how we can divest from fuel taxes to fund these projects, because, fuels, it's a limited resource, and it's something that won't be along very much at the rate that it's getting used at. So, yeah, I think that this 8-mile stretch of corridor would be the prime first iteration for improving the way that everybody moves around within our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McRae. Any other individuals signed up for public comment?
None for the county either.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to discussion and action items. Item number 1.
Before that, Mr. Chairman, I just need to read something into the record. As a matter of expedience, and because the Commissioners Court has adopted the EPMPO agenda with only changes necessary to acknowledge rules or laws that apply to the County Commissioners Court, EPMPO's reading of each agenda item is also considered read in for the County Commissioners Court. In the event there is any action taken by individual members of the Commissioners Court, such action will be deemed taken in his or her capacity as an EPMPO member and not the El Paso Commissioners Court. And therefore, no Commissioners Court action will be noted after each agenda item. Thank you.
All right, so let's begin then with our discussion and action items. Item 1 is consider approval of the minutes of the August 22nd, 2025 TPB meeting.
To approve. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item number 2 is consider approval of amendments to the amended Regional Mobility Strategy RMS 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan, MTP, and the RMS 2025-2028 Transportation Improvement Program TIP for the following Texas highway projects. Mr. Chair, items A through E, as shown in the agenda, I would recommend that we take them all together if possible. If these are fairly simple amendments, we're just pretty much deprogramming projects that are no longer felt necessary by the sponsoring agencies, and of course, it frees up some of the Category 5 CMAQ funds. We have a presentation. Nina's here to answer any questions if you have any at this time.
Thanks, sure. What's going to be the process, I guess, for these funds now that they're going to be freed up? Is there going to be a call for projects, or are they going to go to accelerate existing projects? What's going to be that process?
So we are exactly at that point right now. We are currently building our new Metropolitan Transportation Plan, which is a 2052 RMS. That's what we're calling it. So we are right now in the middle. We had a call for projects, and so, we are working with all the sponsoring agencies, the municipalities, the county, TxDOT, New Mexico DOT, everybody. And right now, we are in the process of consolidating all the projects. We're going through a scoring process on evaluation. At the same time, we are talking with each of the individual agencies as well to understand priorities. And as we speak, we are right now in the next couple of weeks, and our plan is to bring that prioritized list to the technical committee, to TPAC next month, and to the policy board next month as well. So the answer to your question is yes, there's been a call. Now that these projects, part of part of this exercise is, again, going back to the agencies and saying, well, review your projects. If there is something that you no longer need because it's not a priority project, because, things change, right? And so this is what we're doing now, formally freeing up this money that goes back into the pot, and now it's available for the project.
And then these funds have to be obligated by fiscal year 2027?
No, we're deprogramming projects in fiscal year 27, others in 28. There's really no urgency to obligate the funds. There's urgency in terms of programming in the tip. So we're going to free these funds for these five specifically, for these five projects. They go back into the pot. And as we select projects, we're going to be programming these funds, categories 5 and 7, and all the different categories.
So is this money it's not sitting in the bank right now, right? It's funds that we're anticipating to get.
Well, yeah. I mean, these are funds that have been programmed for us in the next, 10 years, right? These are based on the forecast, on the UTP. Now, the 4 years, the immediate 4 years into the future, which are the tip years, right? Those are the ones that where we have, most assurance that the money's going to be there, right? So once your project makes it into the tip, there's a super high level of assurance that the money is there. It's almost, well, we can't say it's a done deal, but it's a super high level of assurance.
And why did they reduce?
Sure, we can.
And Gayante, El Paso MPO, part of the reason that these specific items are coming forward, there's twofold. One is that we received word from the sponsor that these projects are being pursued with other funds, so no longer within the MPO's pot. But another reason is that this pertains to an item that we brought before this board last month pertaining to the strategy to get back into fiscal constraint for Category 5 CMAQ, because the current UTP shows a very significant reduction that begins within the tip years. So we had everything programmed pretty much to the letter under the formerly anticipated amounts, and we needed to reduce those amounts through a series of formal and informal amendments. So these are the formal amendments being brought back for you this month to approve. And the informal amendments mainly involved moving money out of Category 5 and into other funding categories for which those projects were eligible. So this is kind of one of the prongs of the strategy that was brought before you last month. So for this particular item, it's a little bit less that we now have additional money available, and it's a little bit more that we are now back in fiscal constraint. We're not over-programmed for the funding category.
And do we have any idea as to why, I guess in the state's UTP, that they reduced our allocation by 25%? I mean, is that something that we need to address with TxDOT? Or was this like a statewide thing, or did, if it only affected El Paso, or were there, reductions across the board?
Yeah, the answer, well, it's as always, complicated answer. The reason why the funds were reduced is twofold. One is that the total pot, the CMAQ, remember, Cat 5 is federal. So the state of Texas gets an allocation, just like the other states, based on a formula, right? And those formulas are dependent on how many non-attainment areas you have in the state and how many so at the federal level. At the state level, well, let me say that the federal share that Texas got was reduced, right? I'm not sure exactly why, if other areas more, but I think it's just that the program itself was reduced at the federal level. But once the allocation of Texas comes in, TxDOT has the ability to distribute the funds. The reason why we were reduced, and I think Ann addressed it a couple of meetings ago, is that the other non-attainment areas in the state of Texas, basically Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston, their air quality got worse, right? So their non-attainment status went from, well, it went a notch up for the worse, right? So because of that, now they get more CMAQ money, because CMAQ is intended to address congestion and air quality. So you can look at it in a way that, well, yeah, we get penalized for keeping our air quality okay. And the other ones get rewarded because they need more money because their air quality got worse. That's the reason why this year, our share also was reduced by about 25%. What to do, and this is something that we need to discuss with the state delegation. If there is an opportunity to change, because this is coded into the TAC, right, the state code. If we could, because PM10, which is one of the pollutants that we're in non-attainment for, is not considered in the formula. The formula is only ozone, right? So we're the only non-attainment area in the state of Texas for PM10, right? So we're not getting points for being a non-attainment for PM10. So maybe that's one thing that I was going to plan to bring to the chair and to the delegation to see if there's something we can do about that.
This is something that we've discussed with the TTC in the past, formally actually at the TTC, and then in individual conversations with the commissioners. I think it's my understanding that San Antonio also, not only Houston, but San Antonio is also non-attainment. So the pie slices become smaller for our communities, but definitely something, to your point, something we should address as a delegation and see how we don't lose out because we're penalized because others essentially are in the same category.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
All right. So any more questions on the item?
Let the record show Speaker Moody and Representative Gonzalez are present.
Good.
Great. Any other questions? We have a motion. Motion. We have a second. Any opposed? In favor? Aye. Passes.
All right. Item number 3 is consider approval of an amendment to the RMS 2025-2028 TIP to program the Border Highway Connector DHC construction phase project CRN E100391/MPOID A606X using $56,250,000 of Federal Highway Administration infra grant funds and $113,750,000 of other state funds for a total project cost of $170 million in fiscal year 2025, and amend the amended RMS 2050 MTP to change the fiscal year from 2028 to 2025. That was a mouthful. With this item, we are formally programming the Border Highway Connector project in the state of New Mexico, formally programming the project in the TIP. So we're very excited that this is finally happening. It wasn't easy, as Mr. Chavarria can attest. But we're excited that to bring this item to you, program the funds so that the project can move on to construction. There were some pretty tight deadlines that needed to be met. Part of the deadlines were related to the federal grant that we're programming formally now into the TIP. And also for the state of New Mexico to find the state funds that needed to complement the federal funds to get to the $170 million. So with that, Aaron, I don't know if you want to say anything else or about the project and how quickly you're going to move forward to build it.
I'm just glad we were able to get there. We're still on the 11th hour, so thank you guys.
My understanding was elevated to the governor's level. So thank you. Appreciate the work.
Yeah, this is probably, Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a top priority at the state level in terms of the size of the project and being a new location project. And of course, it's going to help us a lot in improving the connection to the Santa Teresa port of entry. As you know, we are also looking at what we call a phase 2. We received some funds from the New Mexico legislature to look at the impacts because nothing is perfect, right? So to analyze the impacts once that connection is made to McNutt in the vicinity of the city of Sunland Park, how that traffic is going to move into Texas and identify the hotspots and prepare for that. But overall, staff has always been very supportive of the project, and we're excited to bring $170 million here to the region.
Any other questions? I move to approve, Mr. Chair. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? We've got a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, item 4 is consider authorizing the executive director to sign a letter of support for the City of El Paso's fiscal year 2025 Bridge Investment Program planning grant application for the Piedras Bridge Reconstruction Design Project. Here we have Omar Martinez from the City of El Paso with a brief presentation.
Good morning, Chair, TPB members. My name is Omar Martinez with the City of El Paso. This project is a design project submitted to the U.S. Department of Transportation, typical of other city grant applications. It focuses on the bridge that is adjacent, that connects to I-10 along Piedras. And if you recall that bridge, it splits awkwardly. It is a design that no longer is effective, especially with the modernization of I-10 and City of El Paso is being proactive in designing or proposing a new design so that we can accommodate whatever the aftermath of I-10 modernization is. This is a $3 million project, of which we are requesting $2.4 million from the federal government, matched by $600,000 from the City of El Paso. And we are pretty confident that we can secure this funding with support of the TPB. Obviously, it is a requirement. Happy to answer any questions about it.
Any questions?
Thank you.
We have a motion to approve. Thank you. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, now moving on to reports and discussion. Item number 5, the quarterly reports. We have A, administrative amendments report, B, project completion report, C, project readiness report, and D, RMS 2020 projects report. All of these are in your backup. We're ready to give you a presentations on these if you so desire. It's going to be, again, the reports are, for informational purposes. We don't see any major issues with projects getting behind. Well, there's always issues, right, with project development, but we don't see anything really major that needs close attention. But again, we're happy to give you all a presentation if you so desire.
Any questions? I think we can move forward.
All right. Then moving on to item 6, Executive Director's Report. A, the IBC Strategic Plan Update. Just quickly, as you know, we had our kickoff meeting for the IBC Strategic Plan on August the 6th, very well attended. Since then, we've been working staff with the consultant team and really working hard on the first step, which is really to do a full-blown evaluation of our existing conditions. So we are working, again, with the stakeholders on the U.S. side, on the Mexican side as well, private sector, public sector, and just putting it together. We are also working with entities in Juarez for another meeting that is tentatively planned for October 21st. That's an activity that's being sponsored by CODER, which is one of the economic development groups in Juarez, along with the City of Juarez and EPMPO, our counterparts, and of course, the MPO and the city, the county, and all the New Mexico Border Authority as bridge operators and owners are going to be participating as well. So again, very heavy and sometimes complicated putting these events together because we've got so many stakeholders on both sides of the border, again, private sector, public sector, but we will let you know and make the invitation. At this meeting in October, we plan to present as much as we have of the existing conditions report. So it's not just a report of the physical infrastructure and geometry of how many lanes, how many booths, and so on, but it's also evaluate the current operation as far as traffic volumes on both directions of trucks and private vehicles, pedestrians, and so on. So again, please be on the lookout for those invitations, and hopefully you guys can join us. B, the Downtown 10 public hearing held September 16th, earlier this week. I attended the public hearing. There was a lot of people there, and this is part of the process to get the environmental document approved for the Downtown 10 project. So I'm going to put Tomas on the spot if you want to say anything about the meeting itself.
The meeting, I thought the meeting was well attended. About 155 people joined us. Comment period goes through October 14th. But I thought overall went well. And all the material now that was presented at the public hearing is online.
Yeah, very, very well attended. And again, I think the important to let everybody know that the comment period is still open through, you said October 14th, Tomas?
Yes, sir.
Comments, questions on that? All right. C, the El Paso MPO Borderplex Safe Mobility Plan Public Comment Period. And do you want to just give a brief update on where we are?
Good morning again. So the MPO has been working on our regional safety action plan for about the past year and a half. We have the final draft currently up on the Borderplex Safe Mobility Plan website. It is available for public comment between now and October 10th, and we really want to make sure that everyone has a chance to take a look at it, make sure we got it right. Within the plan, we have the high injury and high risk networks developed. We have segments for the overall region, so the entire MPO, regardless of its jurisdiction, on the Texas side, on the New Mexico side. We have segments identified for each of our municipalities for those roadways within their area that have had the most collisions or share attributes with those facilities that are perceived to be the highest risk based on collision data and the causes of those collisions. We have countermeasures identified for all of our different crash types and their profiles. And so we are specifically looking to make sure that we got that right, that we're not missing anything, and that the countermeasures that are suggested as solving the collisions that we experience in our region in particular are the correct countermeasures. So that is at borderplexsafe.org. There is a separate tab that is for the draft plan. So we encourage everyone to go on there to read it and to share with us any comments that you have. We are bringing this plan forward in the November meeting cycle for TPB adoption.
And that adoption by the TPB is part of the requirement of the federal grant, since all of this work is being done through the Safe Streets for All grant. So we encourage you to look at the plan and provide any comments, and we'll bring it back in November. All right. So before we break, one more thing, a reminder: the October meeting, which is going to be held. When is it, Marisol? The date?
October 17th.
October 17th. Okay. This meeting will be scheduled at 9:30 because October, again, we begin with a new fiscal year. So we reset. Remember that based on the training, continuous education policy that the board adopted many years ago, you are required to have 5 hours of training by the February TPB meeting. So we're going to start with the training sessions in October through February. So the training will be at 8:30 in the morning, and the actual TPB meeting will be scheduled for 9:30. So just a heads up, and I know Marisol is going to be sending a new round of calendar appointments. So with that, that's all I have, Chair.
No items for executive session.
No items.
Okay. With that, there's no further business. Entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Second, any opposed? All in favor? Aye.
Commissioners Court has adjourned at 9:37 a.m.
At least now I can understand my favorite.